Hey, welcome into Sports with Balls. Good evening. Happy Monday on this, I guess, June. It's been a month. It's been a little over a month since we've been on air.
That's right. Happy Monday.
Right?
Happy June 5th. I can't believe it's already June. And Jeff, when I walked in here, it was cold outside. Cold for Texans. It was like 77 degrees. What is going on? It's normally the hottest month of the year besides August.
Get ready. It says 99 next week. So we'll be back in the hundreds next week here. We are in Houston.
That's fine with me. That's fine with me. I love it.
Yeah, we saw you were at the river this past weekend, I believe. Or lake. You were at Lake Austin. All right, we'll get into your trip here in a little bit. Welcome into Sports with Balls. I'm Jeff Michael, and of course, joined by the lovely Lauren Leal. We are going to get into everything NBA Finals-wise. We are 1/4 of the way through the MLB season. There's, I think, 100 games left. Right, so we'll get into some MLB, some surprises, some disappointments. There's quite a few. Yeah, we were here. And Jason, obviously our producer here, is joining us. What's up, Jason? He just got back from Europe.
Yep.
We all have been on vacation.
We've all been on trips. Jeff was in Florida for a while. I was in Dallas and Austin. But, I mean, I think, Jason, you take the cake. You went overseas.
Yeah,
well, before that, I was in Seattle. So I went Seattle, here, and to England.
Man, and you went and played. I know, obviously, you're in a couple bands, and you went and played at your favorite team's stadium,
Yep.
if I understand this correctly.
Yep, Aston Villa Park.
Wow.
It's in Birmingham, England. So they're a Premier League team. I went to the game beforehand. They clinched a spot into a European Cup, which was even better. So
wow,
they actually
so cool.
won. So that I broke that duck.
Did I see this correctly as far as the European? Look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I'm some soccer guru, because I am not. There's 700 and something teams in the tournament coming up, and is it the European Cup?
No.
Because they showed it the other day, and there were 700 and something teams in this tournament.
So the thing is, there are multiple levels of European Cups, and my one got into the lowest. So I mean, but still, my team's playing in Europe. So that's
your team's playing in Europe. You went there. They won. Then you went and played on that freaking turf.
Then
How cool is that?
You got a picture too, don't you?
I have a picture.
Let's see this
picture, some video.
I've got a picture of the whole lineup with us right there in front of the Holt End, if you can see that.
Nice.
And here I am wearing the classic claret and blue.
Oh, you are just in cloud nine, aren't you?
That right there.
Nice.
That pitch has been around since 1897.
Was the grass in good shape?
The grass was in great
shape.
So
the NFL can't get their field right, but that's been around for 130 years. And the
as far as the stadium goes,
they've got. It was like,
get it together, New York.
It was a carpet. It was playing on a soft carpet. It was so nice. And I do have a clip of me skying one over the bar.
I was just going to ask if you scored.
I gotta see this, man.
If you have it up there.
Goals is the question.
Okay, so in the game, I got an assist. I did get an assist.
You got a point.
And I skied one over the bar. I hit one. I hit a volley, kind of shinned it, saved.
Nice.
But at the final whistle, I did have the ball with me, and I was in front of the Holt End, which is the very famous spot. I put the ball down and I kicked the ball into the goal. So
there you go.
Technically, I scored I kicked the ball into a goal at Villa Park
in England.
Where
you grew up.
Where I grew up.
And did you have a bunch of tea?
Oh yeah. And actually, I had more beer though.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it. After you got to
so basically, I put on so much weight since this time. So back in Houston and time to lose.
Here we go, man. Well,
time
welcome
to lose
back.
Well, the heat will help you shred a little bit.
Well, it's not good being at Christian's Tailgate where I want a burger.
Yeah, right. Welcome back to Stateside. And yes, we are at Christian's Tailgate, where we usually have the show at least once a week. We're going to start doing 2 shows a week here pretty soon. We're gearing up for football season, which is 93, 94 days away.
The best season?
Cannot wait for that. The MLB is in full effect. The NBA Finals just getting underway. We saw game 2 last night. We'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, we're here at Christian's Tailgate having a blast. Cannot wait to get this show rocking and rolling, man. It's good to be back.
It
It's
is
gonna be-
good.
We
It-
all
it's
we all
been a
needed a
little
little
bit.
break. We need a little break, but now we're back, and let's get into it, man.
Yeah. I feel like it was a little bit of a late spring break for us, right? Because
Definitely.
you had a great time in Miami,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Miami, Florida. Did you go to Fort Lauderdale too? I feel like you bounced around a
I
some
did.
spots.
I did. I was at the Ritz in West Palm, which
Ooh,
was
fancy.
It was fancy. Yeah.
Is
it
that
was,
near Miami?
it was funny because some people.
And West Palm's right above Miami,
Right
above.
like 45 minutes.
So you go
above.
Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Boca, West Palm. That's how it
I
goes from
think Fort
south. to-
Lauderdale's below Miami.
Yeah. So Miami,
Yeah.
it's Miami, Fort
No,
Lauderdale,
like
Boca, West
Fort
Palm.
Lauderdale, Miami.
No. My Fort Lauderdale is north. It's
I really thought it was south.
45 minutes. 45 minutes
I
north.
totally thought it was south.
Nah.
But yeah, you jumped around. You had
Lots
some
of fun, man. Lots of fun. All right, let's get into some sports, man. I know since it's hot on everybody's radar, the Miami Heat last night. Okay, I'm going to ask you this question. Did you watch I didn't watch the whole game, but do you obviously know what happened? Do you think that the Denver Nuggets lost that game or that the Miami Heat won that game?
So I just want to say, well, duh, there was a winner and a loser.
What?
But no. No, I know what you're getting at
Yeah.
here because I went back and I watched the highlights of this and I'm like, yo, Denver, sloppy. And I know that they had a lead at some points and
15 points at one point.
yeah. And so you see that, but you look at like Murray and you look at Jokic, and Jokic had the same 41 points. He had the same
Yeah.
amount. But this team did not look great. They did not look good by any means. And like I said, it was just pure sloppiness. And so
Yes.
it's a good question when you say like, oh, they might have lost that game themselves.
I believe so. And you bring up great points. The Joker had 41, only 5 assists. And here's a key factor. When he has under 10 assists, they've lost 9 games in a row, and they're 14-17 on the season. When he has under 10 assists, when he has over 10 assists, they win 80% of their games. So everybody's making a big deal of this. Like, well, Miami's just going to let him score. Look, they're going to figure out a way. I think Denver was up by 6 at half, up by 8 after the third quarter, up by 15 at one point. They just completely gave up in the fourth. Like, it was wild to watch. I was like, this is, and I'm going to give a little bit of credit where credit is due to Miami. All right. All the Miami fans are like, what? They made their shots. They did. They had open looks. They only had 2 free throws in game 1, the entire game, which was an NBA record. They came back. They made 18 of 20 in game 2. Look, they made all their shots. They got to the free throw line. They did what they had to do. They won 1 in Denver. Do I think that Miami still has a chance in this series? No, I don't. I think Denver just completely kind of gave up. Maybe that was a wake-up quarter for them, and we'll see going forward. But I think Denver takes the next 3 games. I do. And it's what's called a gentleman's sweep.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, when you look back too at the series before this in the Western Conference Finals against the Lakers, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Swept them like that. And so I can see them doing something identical. But they have to get back on their game. It's a finals. You know, Miami is going to bring all that they have too. And another thing, though, I know we talked about Jokic. He had 41 points, so he was consistent with his points. He said he was less with assists, I believe, by 5. But he did make history on Sunday.
Yeah,
he was the first center in the NBA to accumulate both at least 500 points and 1,000 assists in a single postseason game. And that's according to the league. So I think that Denver is going to keep going for it. And I do too. I was going to ask you next, Jeff, like who is going to take it all? Who's going to win it all? Most likely whoever wins game 3 does take the trophy and the title. Didn't happen last year because the Celtics won game 3, but then the Warriors ended up winning it all. But in general, it's like 80% or something like that. Whoever wins game 3 is going to win the whole championship. So I think to that point, Denver will. They just look better in general.
This is why I did not mind Denver losing, because I did put money on Denver -8. But now that they lost, the line has moved tremendously. And I get it that it's in Miami, so it was going to move a little bit. But they have game 3. Denver's still favored, but only by 2 points. I'll take that all day long. All day long. I bet Denver is pissed. I know Miami's going to be aggressive. I know they're going to be they're a very physical team, much more physical than Denver is, but Denver's going to be pissed. They're going to come out, and I see a 20-point blowout in Miami. I see another 20-point blowout in game 4, and it's going to be a 3-1 series lead, and it's over. Then they come back to Denver, and they'll lock it up, I believe. But like I just
Denver's never been there. Denver has never made it to the finals.
Yeah, I know.
And so I think this is an exciting time for them. This is their year. This is it.
Yeah, that's why I say they messed up.
Going to bring some money into the city.
It was one quarter, and Denver messed up, and I think that's all they needed. It was a little wake-up call because they got blown out in that quarter. It was absolutely embarrassing if you're a Nugget fan, especially after game one was so convincing and everybody was talking brooms. And, now here we are. It's tied up 1-1 going into Miami, and you give them a little bit of hope. But hopefully Denver comes out and absolutely destroys them. Look, I do my gambling show now, and I'm going to say it again. Give me Denver -2 all day long. And I'm going to take it now because I guarantee it's going to move to 4. It'll probably move to 4, if not more, But I'll take Denver -2 all day long. Other NBA stories, Ja Morant. The league has figured out what's going to happen. They uncovered some news that they haven't released yet. They're waiting till the NBA Finals is over to release his suspension. It's 40-plus games is what I'm hearing. But they uncovered more information about Ja Morant, which is very interesting. And I don't know where he goes from here. I've told you, I said it on the show 2 years ago that he was the future of the NBA, remember? And I was because the kid
said he was the future, but he's also the best up and coming. Like he was the best of that season too. He
was phenomenal. The kid is
it was 2 seasons ago.
He puts butts in the seats. And for that kid to do that is just so bad. In fact, here's the statement from Adam Silver on Ja Morant. We've uncovered a fair amount of additional information. We probably could have brought it to a head now, but we made a decision that it would be unfair to the players and these teams to announce the decision in the middle of this series. So there you go.
He had such a good image before.
Yeah.
I mean, before the first,
his shoes still sold out in like 10 minutes online.
Why don't you break down really quick what happened?
So Ja Morant, we know, had a gun issue in a club a while back, a few months ago. And then, of course, he was riding around with his best friend since high school on an Instagram video, and he has another gun waving around. Some people have come to the defense of Ja Morant, saying that he didn't break any laws technically, and so he shouldn't be suspended. But when you are the face of a brand, you cannot do that. Sorry, you can't. And I'm assuming at this point, he's probably lost $100 million plus. Now, that's not to say that he's going to make more money or won't make more money, because he probably will if he can clean it up. But he's probably lost $100 million up to this point just for hanging around his high school friends. And that's sorry, that's not a shot at him. That's true. He since has unfollowed. He's been in therapy apparently, and has unfollowed all of his high school buddies. So maybe that's a step forward. I don't know. Look, I don't know if he told him, hey, look, I'm just going to unfollow you on Twitter. Not that big of a deal. We'll get to it later. But there's some people in circles saying that he's in trouble, gang-related stuff. I wonder if this kid can pull himself out enough to walk a straight arrow. Look, I'm not a LeBron fan on the court. Everybody knows this. And there's a lot of people that aren't. I think he's done a lot of different things, self-proclaimed king, the flopping, all this stuff that LeBron does. But I will give credit where credit is due. And as far as LeBron off the court, he's been nothing short of phenomenal. Off the court. Family man, giving back, starting businesses, becoming wealthy. Dude, you don't see any controversy with LeBron James off the court. Zero. Nothing. He has surrounded himself with the right people. He's brought up his friends. He's put them through school. He's got one of his best friends is his agent. He started all kinds of businesses. So I got to give LeBron massive credit for that. The complete opposite is what Ja Morant is doing. Polar opposite. You're ruining everything. And Ja Morant's way more exciting to watch than LeBron James.
Yeah, I literally hashtag Lagon whenever the Lakers were out of the playoffs. I was just like, okay, yes, finally, Denver, y'all move forward, get out of here, LeBron. I can't say too much on that. I can't agree with you too much just because I'm not a LeBron fan on or off of the court. So I'm just
that's why we call this Sports with Balls. Lauren's got great opinions. Stay tuned. Lauren Leal. Follow Lauren Leal, obviously, on her social media handles. I believe I can put them up right here.
Oh, what's up?
Where's our? Oh, here's Lauren Leal. Twitter at Lauren _Leal. There we go. By the way, we want to thank obviously Chris's Tailgate, where we are right now. Also, Money Management CEO Johnny Van Lee over there at moneymanagementco.com. look, you want that loan for your house or car, get the credit score you need through Johnny Van Lee. Go visit his website. The guy will jump your credit score 200 plus points. He is phenomenal. Also, Diamond Auto Spa. My buddy Austin Bauer over there at Diamond Auto Spa, absolutely phenomenal place to get your car detailed. He does all sorts of different things, waxing, the coating on your new cars, all of that stuff. It's phenomenal. Go check out his website, diamondautospa.com. All right, NBA Finals. We talked about little Ja Morant stuff, and of course, we got to leave it up to one of our regulars to go ahead and bring up some Cowboy stuff.
Oh, okay.
Kevin Bauer, of course. Go Cowboys. Are you kidding? Really? It's our year.
He also said go Tigers.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So
Kevin Anthony, not Kevin Bauer. Sorry, I said Austin Bauer. Kevin Anthony, loyal friend of the show. Thank you, Kevin, for watching the show. I appreciate it. Go Cowboys. Look, man, I'm not going to sit here and say I agree with all that. So, it is what
you know
it
what's
is,
funny?
man.
So I was in Dallas 2 weeks ago for other types of work. I do like a real estate show. And so I was out there and they are partnered. The show that I do, they're partnered with Dak Prescott. So
Yeah.
You know what they said his amount is? It's crazy. $250,000 per hour to rent him to like read off
What?
scripts and stuff for this real estate show.
Oh, for just to have him read stuff?
Just to have him on like whatever they want, like whether it be a commercial, promotion,
You got to cut him a
to read
check for
scripts.
$250?
an hour, and they have him for 4 hours coming up in June. But in addition to that, he built a home in Dallas. He is about to sell that and build another one in Dallas. Isn't that crazy? And I don't think that he is the answer for the Cowboys. I mean, do you, Kevin Anthony? You are the loyal Cowboys fan.
I don't care who you put out there.
Do you think he should be the face of the Cowboys? Because clearly I don't.
Yeah.
What has he done the past couple of seasons that he's been with the Cowboys? How many playoff wins has he had with the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah.
One?
He hasn't accumulated a lot, and the Cowboys have put talent around him, and it just hasn't worked out the way that they expected. And I look, the Dallas Cowboys are always going to stay relevant. They just came out with the new Forbes sports teams in the world. Dallas Cowboys, most profitable sports teams. Dallas Cowboys, number one. So it pays.
Oh, well, duh.
pays
Jerry Jones. I mean, come on.
Do you think if you're the quarterback of the Cowboys and look, do you think Tony Romo's mad about not winning a Super Bowl? He was the quarterback for the Cowboys for years.
Of course you want that as a player, but he is happy where he's at. He's a great commentator. He may be on the same level as his playing with commentating or better.
Yeah, I really enjoy Romo commentating.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
I don't think Tom Brady will make the same transition.
So Noah Paul on our Facebook says, "Yo, just tapping my last run. Go Cowboys."
Please. We're gonna have to come up with a Cowboys segment.
We're in Houston. It's okay. We love you watching from wherever you're at.
Yeah, man. Appreciate all the Cowboys.
And he said, and go Texans. Yeah. Yes.
Lauren.
Yes.
Yeah.
Go Texans.
I didn't hear any cheering on that one.
Go where?
Yeah, go where? Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, like, don't get me wrong. I like the Texans as like living in Houston, but they're just awful.
Who's your team, Jason? Because you like soccer more than anything. So NFL's
my team's the Texans.
So it is the Texans.
The Tottenham Hotspur.
No. What they did this season is what the Texans, they're following the Texans playbook.
Oh, are they? They're the third most profitable team in the world, right? So it's Dallas Cowboys, New England Patriots, the Tottenham Hotspur, New York Knicks, Manchester United.
Whoa. I missed this conversation. What the heck is that?
Tottenham Hotspurs.
Tottenham Hotspur? What the frick is that?
They're a North London
that's
team.
Some football.
They're the team that has the NFL. They built a new stadium, but it's designed more like an NFL stadium.
So is that where you played?
No. But my team does play there. Like in that stadium.
Hey, look, there you go.
But that stadium, they're doing this thing where they've got go-karts underneath at the bottom and all this other stuff.
Fun.
That's Vegas.
It's like an MLB park.
It's kind of like a Vegas stadium. It's
that
very
is rad.
But the thing is, just because you got all the bells and whistles on the outside,
doesn't mean that the team
sucks.
Hey, doesn't matter. You just want to put butts in the seats, right? So a point in case right here. So the Houston Texans, look on this list.
Well, I mean, look at the Diamondbacks in Arizona. They have a pool in their outfield.
They're good this year. We're going to get to baseball in a little bit.
Yeah, we will. We will.
The
What's
Houston
that?
Texans, we were talking about them. They're number 6 on this list and most
Really?
profitable franchises. That's why. Do you think the McNairs care
Whether or not we
they're
were good or
killing
not?
it, man. They made $356 million last year.
And look at
don't
the
care
big
if they're bad.
splash with look
They're
at the big
robbing the
splashes
city
that
of
they
Houston.
have done
Yes.
this year. They've already created so much excitement
Yeah,
just
no,
from
no, no.
D'Amico Ryan.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with
No,
that.
I'm just saying like that is going to make not only just excitement around the air, profit. You're going to see
Yep.
ka-ching,
Can I ask you
ka-ching.
guys a question?
They did that. They're gonna have this bought them 5 more years of profitability.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Let's go.
Yes.
You know how in NBA, you get one guy and he can turn your team around, right?
Point scorer. Point scorer.
Yeah. So like you get a player, Texans, right? How many
CJ Stroud.
in football?
That's what I
In
was alluding
football,
to.
how many players do you need to turn a franchise around?
Ooh.
Well, I mean, you got to have the QB and the hands, I think.
Straight up QB, that's a given.
I don't know. I would say you need a coach, right? For me, you need a coach and a QB, all right? So if you go
Yeah, your players got to respect.
Andy Reid, Pat
100%.
Mahomes, Belichick, Tom Brady. Those are franchises, right? That'll turn your team around, and people will want to come play for you, right? And you've got to have somebody that's willing to take pay cuts. Okay, AKA Lamar Jackson. Look what's happening over there. There's 0 wide receivers. There's a tight end, right? Like
Do you
that's
need
it.
like squad guys that you know that can put a shift in, like the guys that you can kind of? They might not be the best guys, but you know that they're gonna.
Yes,
be,
you need role players, right?
Yeah.
You need role players, and that's all Brady's had for years and years as success is solid role players. That he had Randy Moss. That was his best wide receiver, but it was at the end of Randy Moss's career.
So
Right.
you're asking positions.
So essentially in basketball, you've got one guy that can turn everything around. Football, you get a good quarterback, a good coach,
System. You need a system.
and a system.
You need a system. Look, you don't even know who the head coaches are in basketball. You don't.
No.
You have no clue.
Don't. You're right.
Most of the people I can ask, they don't know 5 head coaches in basketball anymore.
Mhm.
Back in the day, yeah, you knew all that stuff. But now, yeah, you can't name the head coaches in the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
You don't know 'em. You're just like, oh, you know the players, but you know the coaches. And in the NFL, you know every head coach.
Well, and that also turns to the culture of the NBA
Yeah.
a little bit because they're all rock stars, right? They're
Yeah.
superstars, and they
It's
get
a player-run league for sure.
it's a player-run league, but they also get the stardom to it as well.
Yep.
Coaches fall behind the scenes.
Austin Bowers joining the show, owner of the Diamond Auto Spa that we just mentioned
Austin's
on
here?
the show. No. He's on the
Oh,
social
he
media.
said he's
so-
joining the show. What's
no,
up, Austin?
this is live. So those of y'all that missed the live show, we're on every single platform. Obviously, go download the show, Sports with Balls. It's on every single platform possible. Amazon, talk to you, Alexa, if you want to. It's on all your iTunes, all your podcasts, Spotify, wherever you can find it. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. We're all on there. Find us. Just type in Sports with Balls. This is episode number 209.
We did a cheers with our Red
Wow.
Bulls before the show.
Man,
That's so
getting it.
exciting.
Hey, speaking of the NFL, we'll stick with that just for a minute. Odds to win
All
the Super
day, every
Bowl.
day. Let's go.
Odds to win the Super Bowl. Kansas City plus 600. Philadelphia plus 750. San Francisco plus 850. That's a great bet. Although we'll get into it in a second. I don't know who their quarterback is yet. Buffalo at plus 900.
Yeah. So
Last year they were the favorite.
Mhm.
That's an interesting one.
Mhm.
Cincinnati plus 1,000. And then, of course, the aforementioned Dallas Cowboys, of course, are in there at plus 1,500. And the New York Jets, after acquiring
because of
Aaron
Rodgers.
Rodgers, are now plus 1,500 odds to win the Pro Football Championship, according
Okay.
to Caesars.
Okay. All right. All right.
Once again, they're the Jets, though.
Yeah.
Ah,
Woo!
yeah.
Shots fired.
Shots fired by Jason.
Let's
Man, we
go.
need to have you on the mic more often. So of course, Kansas City run it back, right? They want to do it. They've been to the Super Bowl 3 out of the last 4
Yeah.
years. But in general, I think this is the Bills' year. Not only did they just agree today to have a new stadium being
Yes.
built, but Josh Allen said he feels the best now than he has ever felt in his career. And a lot of players do say that, but I think they're going to go all in and boom, I think that they are going to get DeAndre Hopkins.
Ooh.
I
We
think
haven't
they're-
brought that up yet.
I think they're going to go all in.
wow.
I think they're going to go all in this
That-
year. Mhm.
Hopkins is a shell of him as his former self. Now inside the 20, great receiver. He's not gonna break away with speed anymore, but his hands are phenomenal. I like throwing the ball up to him inside the 20 in the end zone. Like
His hands. He's
Oh.
yes. Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah.
He'd be a good addition. There's a few teams that Hopkins is looking at. I had them written down here. I forget which ones they are, but I think Detroit being one of them, which is a shocker.
That is
I
a
think
shocker.
Miami was another one. There was rumors about Houston, but I doubt he'd come back here. I don't know why he would go to Houston.
I was talking to somebody about that too. I'm like, man, we really need some hands back on us.
New England.
New England. Yeah. I could see that.
Hopkins is a great wide receiver. We all know that. But if you look at his track record, he kind of comes with some trouble. He's not the best.
Oh, because of him being suspended the last first 6 games of last season?
There's rumors swirling that he was involved with the Watson thing. The suspension was actually because of that, and it wasn't because he wasn't suspended because of whatever, Adderall or whatever they said the PED was that he was using. It was because he was actually involved in the whole Deshaun Watson deal. Like he was with him during a lot of those massages or whatever you want to call them. And that was a suspension to kind of get rid of that, whatever. But if you notice down the line, like Hopkins, it's always been a little bit of turmoil with him. All right. And he's got it in Arizona right now. He's demanding to get out of there. Now, so is everybody else. But
I was about to say, like, it's not just him. You know, JJ retired, which it was his time. But it hasn't been a good culture. Cliff Kingsbury left. And that's just, that's Arizona. But as far as D-Hop goes, I was just saying, like, I think the Bills are going to go all in this year to get to the AFC, to get to the Super Bowl. And I think one of the acquirements that they should look at is DeAndre Hopkins. And I think DeAndre Hopkins was on a recent podcast where he said, they asked him, who do you want throwing the ball? First option, Josh Allen.
Look, great fit. And that would put them all in. I think the Bills, to your point, had a little pressure on them last year, being the favorites to win the Super Bowl. Everybody, they were hands down favorite.
Kinda
Everybody.
Choked.
And I think it was a little pressure for Josh Allen. This year, maybe the pressure's off a little bit. It's more like the Jalen Hurts, Philadelphia Eagles, the Pat Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs. They're the top two, and everybody expects them to go do great things. And of course, the Cowboys are always going to be on everybody's radar until they lose in the first round. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, the Bills, if they can quietly get into the season and rack up some early wins and kind of coast through, it's fine. It was just last year, every game for the Bills was big. Every single game, because they were expected to blow everybody out. So we'll see. NFL season 94 days away. Man. And of course we'll have
Let's not rush the summer. It's my favorite season outside of sports. And it's my favorite season.
Lauren Leal had a little vacation this past weekend.
We say that it was work, but I always have fun around my work trips.
Lake Travis?
No, Lake Austin.
Lake Austin.
Okay. Yeah, we say at JW Marriott downtown, and
yep.
I had my work event Wednesday, and so sorry, Jeff. Not all of us are super fancy. I've stayed at the Ritz a couple times.
What? Okay, come on.
Not this time. We kayaked. We did the hiking. Oh my gosh, we hiked our butts off. I did 11 miles the day before, and the next day we turned around and do another 6 miles, and we kayaked for an hour. It was just a lot, but it was a lot of fun.
Because you're not a big drinker. I know this.
Yeah.
So you're talking about kayaking and hiking and stuff like this. Are you
not one drink?
You didn't drink one.
No.
See, that's out on the boats having fun, bro.
I wasn't on a boat. I was on a kayak.
I'm Tom Brady with the Super Bowl trophy.
I was on a kayak.
I was on a kayak. I was in Seattle. I went on the lake. I went on a booze cruise in the lake in Seattle.
There you go.
By the way,
different. A booze cruise. I'm working, guys.
But you wouldn't even drink on the booze cruise.
That's not true.
All right. We're gonna do the show live from a booze cruise.
If you're calling me out, Mr. Ritz Fancy Pants.
No.
How much do you drink when you go on these trips?
I did hit some wine up. We went to a couple of nice restaurants in West Palm. We had a fantastic time. And I got to see my parents, which is great. I get to see them about once a year now. Whenever you can do that, it's great. So but I did drink some wine, in fact, to the point, and I only had like 2 bottles in 4 days, right? But my mom was like, "You're drinking too much." I'm like, "What?" I think she thought I was like drinking a bottle a day or something, but I wasn't at all. I would have a glass or two, and then at night when I was watching a movie, I'd have a glass going to bed or something like that, right? I guess she thought I raided the wine cellar.
It's not every day like you do at home.
No, not at all. But if I'm on any lake, if I'm in Austin, Texas, Lake Austin, Lake Travis, I don't care kayaking. I'm boozing. There's a cooler in front of me with some booze in it.
I was there for work, Jeff.
Still boozing.
On my day off, I hiked and I kayaked. What the heck is wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it at all.
Thank you.
In fact, I'm a little jealous that you can go.
Then I drove home and went straight to a concert, which I did have a beverage, just one.
There you go.
All right. All right.
Stan McCorkle said YOLO, which I absolutely love. What's up, Stan? I haven't seen him in a long time. Welcome everybody
Stan.
from all the social media,
Austin
sites
Bauer.
that are joining us, man. Appreciate you guys paying attention to us. We got you for another 30 minutes. We're going to bring in an MLB scout here in a little bit, maybe talk about, what his day-to-day routine is and what goes through a scout's head, when you're trying to find maybe a pitcher or a batter, or where are you staying in the Dominican Republic? I don't know. We'll see if he joins the show here in a little bit.
But speaking of, we're just going into MLB. We're just going to the standings right now.
I am excited.
Like you said, we're about we got 100 or so games left in the season, so 82 are down. And where does that put us right now in MLB? How are we feeling? Specifically, I know we're going to talk about the Houston Astros being in Houston and being our team. But in general, I know you had some questions written down here, surprising team, disappointing teams. And I just got to say in general, who I'm surprised at, Giants, A's, of course, because there's a lot going on. The Kansas City Royals too. And I'm just like, whoa, what is going on here with some of these teams? Jeff, what are you seeing right now through these 82 games or so far this season?
I guess the biggest thing to me is the American League East.
Okay.
This division is unbelievable. The worst team in this division is the Boston Red Sox, and they're 30-30.
Mm-hmm.
The Baltimore Orioles are 37-22, and they're 4.5 games back of Tampa Bay. The Yankees are 36-25, 6.5 games out of first place. It's that division may be the best division we've ever seen in baseball. It's heading that direction. It's wild. They're all really good teams. And Boston's trying to put up a fight, but they're 12 games out of first, and they're at 500. All right, for instance, if you move down to the American League Central, the Minnesota Twins are in first place with 31 wins. The Boston Red Sox are in last with 30. That is absolutely unbelievable. If we're going to talk surprises, all right, if that's what we're getting at, the Texas Rangers.
Yes, the Rangers have been hot. We are not used to seeing this right now.
No. Now, look, they spent the most money in the offseason. They spent a lot of money last year, too. And if Grant was here, our other host, Grant Miles, who is from Dallas, massive Rangers fan.
You're from Dallas, too, Jeff. You're just not a fan.
I was born there. Sure, I guess. I was.
Same as Grant.
I got to say that. But the Texas Rangers, it seems like the money is paying off. The new stadium, the Texas Rangers sit at 38-20, 3.5 games up in first place over the Houston Astros for the American League West. I'm okay with it because I'm a gambling man, and I have been riding the Rangers. And
they're only 3.5 games back. Astros.
Yeah, the Astros are playing phenomenal baseball. They've been one of the hottest teams for the past month and a half. No doubt there. And we'll get into Yordan Alvarez and all that stuff in a little bit. But Texas Rangers, if you're in Dallas, and 2 years ago, they were the laughing stock of the MLB. Now, 2 years later, they're 38-20 with a plus 152 run differential. I understand. All you people out there are going to say they've had an easy schedule. I understand that. And they have. 152, I don't care. That is phenomenal. That's unreal. The Texas Rangers, I'm not going to say for sure, but they may be legitimate. Well, that's my surprise of the MLB so far.
Yeah. I don't blame you because of how they've been over the past course of, I don't know how many years they've been bad now. But they did make a lot of offseason moves, like you said. The Astros haven't. They've stuck to their roster because they know it works.
Yep.
And things have been different since Altuve's been back. And Yordan Alvarez, you said you wanted to get into because
he's doing historic.
What a season.
He's doing historic things. There's daily, one of the MLB sites will post up his numbers and he compare him to either Aaron Judge, Barry Bonds. You go back at all these great home run hitters, Mark McGuire's, all these guys from back in the day, and even the new guys. His numbers are mind-boggling. He's blowing the rocks off the ball at a historic pace. And I'm a card collector, comic guy as well. Love that kind of stuff. I was at the game the other day. And my son's down there, and he's getting Chas McCormick's autograph on a baseball card, right? I like Chas, decent player, no big deal. But Yordan's right behind him, and I'm like, Yordan, Jordan, like I want him. I have his rookie card, and I want it signed so bad because I think this guy, Jordan Alvarez, could be 2-3-time MVP. He could be Barry Bonds coming up. Like, I mean, he's that talented.
If he can beat out Shohei Ohtani.
Yes, and we're watching something special. Now, look, Shohei cannot pitch in Houston. We saw he has, I think, 3 of his losses. Both of his losses this year have come in Houston, but something like 3 of his last 7 losses all in Houston. His ERA in Houston's above 7, like it's unreal. But everywhere else, Shohei is phenomenal. The guy is obviously a generational talent. He's going to get probably the biggest contract we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm trying to think of like who it's going to go to, who's going to pick him up, and I just go back between the Yankees and the Dodgers, who would spend the money on him. But anyone who really wants to make a big splash, and then also we talked about in the NFL, make money during merch.
Houston won't get him.
No,
Houston will not get him because that's not their system. That's not their MO. That's not how it fits. The Rangers can spend money. They've been doing it, but this sounds terrible, but you can see Ohtani in a Dodgers uniform.
It's funny because I was talking to my brother literally about this yesterday, and he had gone to California recently and said, man, I saw so many more Ohtani jerseys than Trout. And I'm like, well, yeah.
Well, look,
ever since Trout's been hurt and he is
Mike Trout
kind of fallen off.
Ever since Mike Trout was in high school, and the knock on Mike Trout is he's just really quiet. He just is. He doesn't do interviews. He doesn't come out for autograph sessions.
It's not like Ohtani and it's like huge in that either.
Well, no, but he makes himself available. He is. He seems like he has a little bit more personality. He's more relatable. Trout just kind of goes out there, he kicks ass, he does his thing, and he just kind of goes on about his business, right? Ohtani actually is out there smiling, laughing. You know, when people run to first base, he kind of plays with him like he did with Tucker the other day in the Astros game. He seems like he's fun. Trout just that's just his personality, and anybody that knows him says that.
Yeah, and Kevin Anthony, I was going to allude to your comment. Basically, in addition to his stats from Saturday's game, he is relatable to a demographic that is not popular in MLB when it comes to Japanese.
Yeah.
Yes, when it comes to these, you don't see that race a lot in MLB.
He's sort of the Yao Ming when Yao Ming played for the Rockets, that transition.
So it definitely helps the fan base.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
Huge. There's Japanese stars coming over here at a tremendous rate now, almost as much as the Dominican Republic as far as like players for the MLB. You see him everywhere. There's like pitcher for the Cubs that is phenomenal. He's got like 7 pitches. He's absolutely phenomenal. A pitcher that is for the Cubs now. And he came from the Japanese league. Remember when COVID hit, that's all we saw was that baseball.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Well, too, and the time changed too. So whenever we wanted to watch TV, like that's what was
awesome.
on.
We had baseball in China. It was fantastic. Look, and for you sports lovers, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about because it was the only thing to watch. And we definitely put it on. But look, guys, welcome into Sports with Balls. If you're just now tuning in, thank you guys. I'm Jeff Michael. She is Lauren Leal. You can find us. I'll put our Twitter handles up right here. Follow us on Sports with Balls. There's our Facebook, the Jeff Michael Show. Also, look, there's Twitter, Sports with Balls, and there's Lauren Leal. Lauren __ Leal. Follow her on
Always
Twitter.
With the 2. You got to make it dramatic. You got to go with a splash. If not, no, I'm just kidding. The 1_ it was already taken.
If you guys have any questions, obviously on the live show,
feel free, rattle them off.
Let's go.
We'll try to answer.
Noah Paul said he's going to be at Minute Maid Park on July 28th. The Rays versus the Astros. That'll be a great series. Austin Bauer about Jordan Alvarez says they are saying he could potentially be the best hitter in baseball to ever play the game. I agree with that. And speaking of Jordan Alvarez, it's just he's got to stay healthy. And he's got to have.
It's the fact that he's the two-way player. It's the fact that no one else can do that either.
No, we're talking about Ohtani. Well.
You're talking about Shohei, right?
I think Austin Bauer is alluding to Jordan Alvarez being the best hitter ever.
Got it.
By far, Ohtani could go down as the best two-way player that's ever played this game. In fact, Babe Ruth only pitched and hit 3 years. All right, and Shohei's already past that. Like he's already beaten Babe Ruth when it comes to that stuff. His ERA is lower, his batting average. Like Ohtani is almost look. The Babe was the Babe, and we all love him for that. But Ohtani, if he keeps his pace, he's surpassed that. Like, he's obviously going to be one of the best players to ever play the game. As far as hitting wise, though, I think Austin's alluding to the best hitter to ever play the game. Right now, in my opinion, Barry Bonds was the best player ever. All right, Pete Rose holds the hit record, but Barry Bonds was the best hitter I've ever seen. I've never seen anybody with the bases loaded get walked. Like, that's unreal. In a baseball game, like, no, we'll give you the run. We just don't want him to hit.
Well, no, they did that to Yordan Alvarez a couple of weeks ago, and I was just like, what? And then you had whoever was coming in behind him hit it out of the park. I can't remember. But it was just like, what? Why would you walk? Like, no. That was
Austin Bauer says yes, number 44. All right, so we were going over our best of the MLB this year, MLB so far this year. For me, it's the Texas Rangers. They have just been phenomenal. And look, I'm an Astros fan, but I got to say, the Rangers have been absolutely dominant.
To hats off, yeah.
Yeah, got to give them credit. My worst. We got to talk about it. The Oakland Athletics.
I feel so bad for this organization.
Wow. The other day, they had 800 people. They had, for the first time in the history of the MLB, the minor league team's attendance is higher than the major league team.
Wow. And so that just goes to show, too, they are looking to move out of that city.
Here's what I would do. And I've thought about this. And I thought about buying a plane ticket to Oakland, sitting there while the Astros go in. Look,
you will not do that. You don't like planes.
It was a rough ride to Florida, I'll tell you that much.
I was going to ask if you drove or flew.
I flew. Oakland, I would get a ticket when the Astros are playing, and I just talked about getting your, because I would go stand down there while the Astros are warming up and get every autograph possible. There's nobody there. So if you want to get autographs, grab your memorabilia of your favorite sports team or your favorite MLB team. Find when they're playing in Oakland, buy a ticket and go, and you can get everything you want signed. There's nobody there.
If you want those autographs, sure.
No, but from your team, like the Astros would be there, right? So I would.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Get to visit Oakland for a little bit. I got some friends there. Say hello. I get all the Astros autographs, and look, how much is a ticket to Oakland these days?
I know. They've got to be pretty cheap. I mean, sometimes you can find Astros tickets for pretty cheap. It just depends on where it's going to be in the stadium. But I can imagine front row, first baseline, boom.
But the Oakland Athletics, as of right now, I don't know how they did this, but last series before this one, they beat the Atlanta Braves 2 out of 3, which was unbelievable. But they sit 12 and 49. And admits their move to Las Vegas. Now, I posted the other day their new logo. I really like it. I really like their new logo. It looks phenomenal.
So it looks sleek.
And it's.
I wish we could put it up on the screen.
I saw this guy go to Sports with Balls. It's on all the social media sites. Just scroll down; it'll be on there. I posted. I'll post it again tonight. But I saw this guy the other day at my daughter's softball tournament wearing an Oakland A's hat, and it teared me up because when I was a kid, I watched Jose Canseco, I watched Mark McGwire, I watched Ricky Henderson, I watched Dave Stewart, I watched all these Oakland greats play baseball, and the Oakland A's were the New York Yankees back then. They were unbelievable. And you wore that A's hat, and the A's hat was so cool. It had that green and that yellow. It was awesome. And this guy was wearing that hat, and I was like, I feel so bad for that fan base. That in the 80s, the 70s even were great for Oakland. 70s, 80s, and 90s. And now it's gone, right? You had a movie, Moneyball, made from the Oakland A's. It won 21 straight games. Never been done before.
I mean, that's kind of the course of a franchise and organization, though. Like, you know how hard it is to stay good and relevant for a long period of time? I mean, 50 seasons or so.
Yep.
And I know, like, we're spoiled here in Houston over the past
we went through
7 years, but we had a bad drought.
Yeah.
We had a very bad drought in the 2000s.
Historic 100 lost seasons in a row. Never been done.
Yeah. And so, you know, franchises, it's going to happen. It's just crazy because of how high they were, like you said, whenever they were growing up.
Yep.
You were growing up.
Yep. Yeah, and it's just I almost went online to buy one of those Oakland A's hats. Like I absolutely I loved the Oakland A's back then. I went and watched Ricky Henderson hit a double off the wall I think they were playing the Padres, and it was the early 80s, probably 84, 85, 86, somewhere in there. Ricky Henderson hit a double off the wall. It was pouring down rain. My stepdad wanted us to leave the stadium because it was cold. It was in Oakland, and it was raining, but I forced him to stay. And at the bottom of the ninth, Ricky Henderson doubled off the wall for the game-winning score, and I'll never forget it. And it's just, I feel bad for that fan base, man. They're going to Vegas, and look.
I mean,
Vegas
it's
is
just like the Raiders. It's just like the Raiders. And what happened? The Raiders got better once they moved to Vegas.
The Vegas is going to have the Raiders, who are going to turn into a good team, and they've got their stadium is phenomenal. It's unbelievable.
I haven't been yet. Have you?
Yes, and it's unreal.
I want to go. It's like the spaceship.
Real. And then you've got these A's.
Later. I need to go.
They're building a state-of-the-art stadium. Imagine this stadium. Now, it's only going to hold 30,000 people. So the tickets are going to be, every seat's going to be amazing. I bet that venue is going to be just I will go there and watch Astros 100%. Who wouldn't? And so now you got the Vegas Knights, the NHL. They're about to win the Stanley Cup. They're playing tonight.
It's literally on and in front of our faces too, gearing up for the Stanley Cup. Have you been following that, by the way?
Yes, ma'am. Because I gamble.
Ah, of course, of course.
Well, no, look, it's not because I gamble. I watch I watch all sports. I really do.
Yeah.
Go. By the way, Tampa Bay. I'm sorry. The Miami Marlins just tied it up. I don't know how the Kansas City Royals are hanging with the Miami Marlins, but Miami just tied it up 4-4. Thank goodness, because I got them tonight. Speaking of tonight's games, look, for you guys that are gamblers, I have my gambling show. Go to Sports with Balls. It's on there. I put it up daily, so it's up there every day. I put my picks in. Phillies are up on the Tigers 3-0. Marlins and Royals are tied 4-4, like I just said. The Oakland A's are up on the Pittsburgh Pirates 1-0.
Okay. All right. They make it 13 wins on the season.
Rays already beat the Red Sox today. The Cardinals are at the Texas Rangers. Take the Rangers. That game starts in 20 minutes. Put your money on the Rangers. Perez is pitching. He's 6-1 with a 4.43. Adam Wainwright's 2-1, 6.15. I like the Rangers in that game. Cubs at the Padres. The late game, Kyle Hendricks versus Mr. Snell. I'm not going to tell you which way to go with that, so you can figure it out on your own. But I do like the Vegas Knights. We were just talking about them. If you get them -1.5 tonight, which is -2 goals, basically, it's a +90, +190. I'm sorry. So $100 wins you 190. Mm-hmm. They're at home. I really like the Knights tonight. It should be an interesting game. If you've never been to an NHL playoff hockey game, it's awesome. It is so much fun.
I've never been to any NHL game.
Wow.
I've never watched one.
Let's fix that.
Never watched one. I've never been to one.
I don't think they're playing during our draft, but I'll be in Vegas in 2 months for our fantasy football draft. It's going to be an absolute blast, so I can't wait to get there for that. But we'll go to a hockey game this year, or next season. We'll have to get you into a hockey game.
The season officially kicks off kind of around NBA, right?
Yes,
like August, September, late September, October. Something like that.
I'm glad you just mentioned the NBA. Look, earlier in the show, if you guys missed it, we brought up the Miami Heat beating the Denver Nuggets last night in an absolute shocking game, where I posed the question, did the Nuggets lose the game or Miami win the game? And I thought that the Nuggets lost that game.
I think they did. They let down their guard. They've looked way better in game one, and they looked way better in the Western Conference Finals.
That fourth quarter was terrible to watch if you're a Nugget fan, because they were up by 6 at the half, up by 8 after the third quarter, and in the middle of the third they were up by 15. And in the fourth quarter, they just gave up. They just absolutely gave up. It was weird to watch. The Joker had 41. You had mentioned earlier he broke another NBA record. That guy. Somebody mentioned the other day online that he could be up there with Olajuwon when it's said and done, and I was like, "Whoa!"
I don't know about that.
He's not the shot blocker, if you replace Olajuwon's blocks with Joker's assist,
have you been to the arena in Denver?
Yes, of course.
Okay, it's pretty cool. Their fan base is fun, but they don't sell out games. They are going to next season because of this finals.
and they had the highest paid mascot, and he's well deserved. If you've never been to a Nugget game, go watch this guy. I think he gets paid $650,000 a year.
Really?
Yes,
He's super fun.
he's a lot of fun. He does some wild things, like drops from the roof. Like, I mean, yeah. He does some crazy.
It's kind of like
things.
Toro with the Texans, but yeah, no. Whenever I worked for the Rockets, I traveled. That was a team we went to go see, and unfortunately, that was an awful trip for me because I was in the hospital. But that was a really cool fan experience before I got sick. Anyways,
Astros are blasting the Blue Jays 6-0 right now, so there's that.
Okay, Jeff, you have something on our notes, and I'm just like, what is going on? Bow tie, spaghetti.
Where?
You have winter, summer. I think it's like you want me to say one of these things.
Oh, so this was my rapid response segment. So I was gonna. Well, okay. So I haven't figured this out yet. It was gonna be a new segment where I just wrap off some stuff to you.
Oh, sorry. Maybe I haven't.
Well, I just say, which team do you like better, Mets or Yankees? And you just have to say it real quick. And, like what you like better, bow tie or spaghetti, winter or summer, which we all know now is summertime for Lauren. Like that's the.
Don't get me wrong. I love to ski, which I'm gonna be doing this year. But yeah, summertime, 100. All
right, so we'll end the show on this. All right, I'll ask you a couple of questions real quick, and we'll do some way too early stuff, right? So way too early, who's in the World Series?
Oh, gosh.
All right, so we'll go to the American League first, and I'm pretty sure I know your answer to that.
I mean, come on. You got to stand by Houston.
Houston Astros versus the...
Right now, it's tight. It
is. The National League is
tight.
Very, very close. All teams.
It's weird to even say Brewers right now.
Oh, wow.
No way, Jose. And like I said, one of the team. It's only like they're only one game behind 500, but the Giants are what kind of shocked me with that. But because they're always kind of in the talk, but they never make it to the World Series. So
Houston and who? Come on.
I don't want to say
5, 4, 3.
Mets.
Rapid.
The Mets. Wow, I like it.
Yeah, you're like rapid. Come on.
Look, you've got Scherzer. Coming up now. Look, the Mets. Not a bad pick. All right, Houston versus the Mets.
What about you?
I do like the Astros. I think they've been really hot. But I think we're going to run up against the Tampa Bay Rays in the playoffs, and that's going the Rays.
You think they're going to continue to like stay steady with how good they are playing?
They look really
because sometimes
good.
that happens too early in the season, and then the endurance runs out.
Well, the Astros have had the Rays number, but that's going to be a fun matchup. I like that matchup more than I like the Astros and Yankees, which is the traditional American League championship. But the Rays look good, and Astros Rays, I see that championship and either one of those teams.
Keep in mind, with all the new rules that this season comes with, that might kind of affect, like I said, the endurance role.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Of the postseason.
I don't hear any more. I hear no more chatter about the rules, and thank goodness, because I love it. I told you, like, I'm the traditionalist, and nobody says anything anymore.
Well, it's just because
I love it.
It's because the game ends, and you're like, "Woo, it's a work night. I can still go to bed early."
Yep. Jason.
Yep. Especially at work night when
especially
I'm
at AT&T Sportsnet. I feel you.
Yeah, because Jason worked for the Astros.
I worked there last night.
Yeah.
I worked there yesterday. I was like, "Oh, it's done."
It's done. Okay.
All right, my way too early prediction: NFL Super Bowl. Who's going?
Bills.
Yep.
And who's going to be from the inn?
Who's
from the inn?
Don't you say it. Cowboys. No.
No way, Jose.
I like the Bills is a good pick.
Are you going back to KC?
I'm going to say Cincinnati this year from America from AFC. I'm going to go Cincinnati. I think Joe Burrow gets in there.
Okay. They were the last ones to report to the OTAs
I like a Cincinnati-Philadelphia Super Bowl. Man, that'd be amazing.
That sounds boring.
I'm
sorry, Philly. Nah.
All right, well then, all right. Answer this: how many wins for the Houston Texans? Since you are, I know that you are a massive Texans fan. You have ties to the organization. You're a cheerleader for them. You still do a lot of stuff with the Houston Texans. Over under wins.
So you can't ask me this question.
How many? I'll do this. I'm gonna set the wins at 5. Are they going over or under?
Over.
Over. All right, Jason.
I'll take over.
And Jeff?
Under.
Okay.
Under. I like their cultures they're building, but look, CJ Stroud's got a lot to prove. Ohio State quarterbacks are traditionally not that good in the NFL. It's more of a wide receiver college, so we'll see how he does. And look, DeMeco Ryans is a defensive-minded coach. I want to see what system CJ Stroud is going into, what system they're going to implement for him, right? So there's going to be a learning curve.
I think that works with his size too. So I think that's going to be an advantage when it comes from the defensive thought process of DeMeco.
Look, I got to thank a couple of people. Number one being Christian's Tailgate.
I got a rapid question for you.
Okay, let's go. Yeah, I'm in.
One rapid question, both of you guys on the spot. Bucket list sporting event that you want to attend.
Oh, I got a bunch of them.
Attend or
just
cover?
Just one.
Attend or cover?
To attend.
I got two. I got to pick one?
I know. But it changes the game. Is your team in it or not?
It could be any sporting event. Everybody says the answer's the Masters.
So
everybody says the real answer's the Masters.
The one I'm not going to pick is the Army-Navy game. All right, so that's on the bucket list, right? But I have another one.
Come on, Jeff. You can do that.
No, I want to do that.
You can go do that.
I will,
anytime.
But he's saying what's the number one, and obviously that's not the number one. What's your
Everybody says Masters.
Not me. Definitely not me.
Masters is way up there, but
for me, it's a Super Bowl.
I've been to a couple. Red Sox Yankees in Boston.
Good.
That's a phenomenal. I haven't been to Fenway before they tear it down and maybe make a new one. I don't know when that'll happen.
Kevin Anthony says bucket list Cowboys in the Super Bowl before I die.
Good one.
Jason, I gotta ask you that, but I know it's gonna be some soccer game.
I would say
Man, you.
Bucket list, like in terms of soccer match, I'd say the Old Firm, which is like the Scottish rivalry, all in Glasgow. It's like Rangers versus Celtic, which is like.
Didn't you just do one of your bucket lists? Put up that picture.
I don't know what any of this means.
This is Jason a week ago.
I've already lived my bucket list. So
look at that, man!
So
Holy
cool.
crap, man!
You were on the field, and Jeff and I were in the sun.
Yeah. I was getting burned doing that.
I'm going to Florida in 2 weeks.
Coaching.
Man,
What's that?
I'm going to Florida in 2 weeks. My first time in Florida.
Where? What part?
What's that? Clearwater?
Stillwater.
Stillwater.
It's in Tampa,
Yeah.
like the beach right next to Tampa.
We're so sports related. We're like Stillwater.
St. Pete?
Is it Clearwater Beach?
I don't know.
St. Pete's by Florida. Sarasota's by
Tampa.
Tampa. It's the one that's got
Siesta
all
Key.
the.
Any guys that listen, if y'all are listening to the show and you're from Tampa and you know we're over there, send us or send Jason a recommendation.
I'm going there, so it's going to be my first time in Florida.
Kevin Anthony going to Destin on
That's
the 17th.
crazy.
Look, guys, got to thank these people before we get out of here. Christian's Tailgate, obviously 5 locations here in Houston, Texas. These guys are amazing. Their food is amazing. Award-winning hamburgers every single year. Drink specials. They got karaoke that goes on. They have all sorts of stuff. Get up to one of your local Christian's Tailgates. They're awesome. Also, Diamond Auto Spa, our man Austin Bauer over there. We need to send our cars. Both of our trucks need to go over there, get detailed. Give him a call, diamondautospa.com. His number is right there. Info at diamondautospa.com. Diamondautospa.com. 346-319-5961. Also, moneymanagementco.com. Get the credit score you need through Johnny Van Lee. Look, guys, you want to go get that new car, new home, you need the loan. Go visit Johnny in 30 days. You'll get it for sure. He's great at that stuff.
Yeah, and Jason, Clearwater, yep, right over the bridge of Tampa. So St. Pete was lower than that on that same little strip. So anyways, thanks for another Sports with Balls, episode 209.
210 is next.
Fun.
We'll try to do another one this week. Y'all stay tuned. Go follow us, Sports with Balls, on any social media site. It's on there. Just type in Sports with Balls. You missed anything, it'll all be up podcast version tonight. You'll have it by tomorrow morning. All right, guys, thank you. I'm Jeff Michaels. She's Lauren Neal. This is Sports with Balls. We're out of here.
Funny how you said my last name.